Hitching post is waiting round the bend. My weary ride is coming to an end. Going to stop and wrap myself around the best rib tickling in this town, where laughing is in style. I think I'm gonna stop a while and smile. It's time for Cowboy Bob's Corral. Out where pal is a pal. We've got good times for you and lots of things to do. So come along, my cowboy buckaroo.
Now, tell us about your first appearance on WTTV. It was in '63, was it?
I started in '63 is when I was in Chicago auditioning for WBBN Radio.
Okay.
Then I came back to IU, finished my degree, changed degrees. Believe it or not, my original major was French and Italian. Double major, like, huh? Duh, what was I thinking, you know? But so when I came back, I'd gotten a real interest in broadcasting, and I went to the Fine Arts Radio and Television Department.
Yeah.
FART. But anyway,
okay.
now I are an old boy. But I got my degree, and then started working at Channel 4 in '66.
66.
At a very unfortunate start date for employment. It was 6/6/66.
Yeah.
June 6, 1966. Should have waited just one day. I might still be gainfully employed. So in '68, I got promoted from a little camera flunky in Bloomington to, hey, I'm big time now. I'm a camera flunky in Indianapolis. And one of my first jobs was I was so excited. I was a production assistant on the Sammy Terrace show. And my job was to kneel down on the cold, hard studio floor with a scoop light, aiming it up at his face so he looked scary. And, well, I thought I'd gone to heaven. Here I was. Gosh, and we had dry ice, you know, with dry ice fog everywhere. Back then it was very low tech, but very effective. Black and white, low tech.
Oh, I remember.
Didn't have any of the fancy schmancy. And then of course, I ran camera on several shows. Billy Boucher was one, Janie. It's while I was a cameraman on the Janie show that she invited me to play guitar one day, back her up, and we ended up singing some songs together, and it went over real well with the audience, and so I became a semi-regular on her show, and which eventually led to my being offered my own, and I was thrilled to death. They put me on at noon. They already had a cartoon show at noon with another gal hosting it, but they wanted to shift gears, and so it was called Lunchtime Theater. It became Chuck Wagon Theater, the Cowboy Bob. And we started that on January the 7th, 1970. And I was scared to death. And as I said earlier, I was so green I could hide in short grass. But I was just faking it, winging it, making it up as I went along. Like Sourdough the Singing Biscuit, he was one of the characters in the show. Right. We were live when I dropped this biscuit, and the audio man was supposed to hit the sound of glass shattering, like the Cookie's biscuit that he made. Cookie was our cook. And I dropped it. It's supposed to shatter like glass. The sound. The audio side, our audio man hit the wrong cartridge and up came singing. So I'm why? So, oh, it's a singing biscuit. Well, 2 days later, the kids started writing, we want to see the singing biscuit again. I just happened to have the same full, it was just a leftover KFC.
Yeah.
Back then it was called Kentucky Fried Chicken. They weren't abbreviating biscuit. And so I just drew a little mouth on it, put a couple of eyes with a Sharpie, and that was our, I'd hold up this stupid biscuit, you know, and it would sing, you know, sing little songs like, you can butter me up, don't get me in a jam, you know. Oh, and I did the voice for Sourdough. What I would do, I kind of like Alvin and the Chipmunks, I would record it. Howdy, I'm Sourdough, the singing. Then we play it back to speed, and it would have the high pitch. Yeah, yeah. Very low tech, but very effective. First started back in 1970. My very first horse for the first 6 weeks was a horse named Freckles that had to paint. But it was grainy film. It didn't look good. It really didn't photograph well. So we went back, and that's when we did Clyde or Windchamber.
So that's the trivia question, is what was Cowboy Bob's first horse?
Yes, very few people know. This is Mr. T. Mr. T. Rusty O'Toole, T in memory of Tumbleweed. And he goes with me in all my shows. He's a Rhodesian Ridgeback we rescued about 5 years ago.
Good for you, rescue dog.
Yeah, all of these are rescue dogs.
Good for you.
Yeah, we'd never pay a dime for a pooch. We've had 16 dogs all told, 11 of them are with God now, 5 still with us.
How many on the show?
How many what? Dogs. I just,
On the show.
Oh, on my show? Well, Tumbleweed was in the 70s, and Scuba was in the 80s.
Okay.
Yeah, Scuba, that's an acronym for self-contained uninhibited barking apparatus.
There you go, I didn't know that. I thought it was something else.
The theme for the second decade of the Cowboy Bob Corral show, it's time for Cowboy Bob's Corral. That actually started, I had written that as a commercial for the Hitching Post restaurant that was in Bloomington at the time. And the Hitching Post is waiting around the bend. And, but it was, you know, the words were slightly different from that point on. I just reworked them when they asked me to change the name of the show. And then they moved me to another time slot. We had to change the name to Cowboy Bob's Corral. And by the way, that's my website now. It's cowboybobscorral.com. A lot of things on the show that was timely. Like we could show their pictures, we could show their colors, we could talk about, oh, Johnny has got a cold, you know, I'm sorry to hear that. We did things, well, one lady early on in the 70s wrote me and said, would you tell my son to take his nap? And so I did. On the air, I said, Johnny, take your nap. Be sure to take a nap. Well, other parents started writing in, keep saying it, to all the kids. So it became a part of the end of the show. Don't forget to take your nap, keep smiling, and remember, you can't say anything nice.
Don't say anything.
You got it.